Hello everyone and welcome to Excel Studios' first Oblivion Day. Our goal with this section of the channel is to go ahead and bring out news, announcements and trailers, maybe even sneak peeks at upcoming projects that we have throughout the year. However, this one will be special from any upcoming Oblivion Day events that we will have throughout the next years. Now you may wonder why, and the reason is that we plan to go ahead and map out all the plans that we have and projects for the upcoming years. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and see what we have planned out for you today. Before we start, let's go ahead and see our journey so far. Back in 2020, we started our business back in Honduras. Our goal back then was to release an open world game for people to try and enjoy the experience of Oblivion. And as you may know, that plan didn't go as well as we expected. Although we were able to release the first version of that game on the Google Play Store, we have since then paused the project. Our plan is that for the upcoming years, we want to slowly start going back and working on that original game, which is why we need your help. Every like, comment and sharing that you do on social media help us out reach to a broader audience, which will help us bring out our projects to life. Now for 2021, that year went a little bit slowly, mainly due to the fact that we had to pause the previous project and start developing the other projects as a means to expand our universe. Additionally, that year we had the original plan to release our card game. However, we have now decided to push that release date to 2024. Furthermore, we're not only going to release our base set, additionally, we're going to release an expansion set which will be the continuation of that original set. Plus, it wasn't that bad. We were able to release our first pin collection. Now, in regards of our second project, which is our card game, the art for the 100 cards that will be available for the base set has been completed. It just mainly needs to go into production for you to go ahead and purchase it. However, we want to go ahead and release our second expansion with that set as well. What some of you may not know is that all of our media is connected in some way or another, which is why we want to take the time between the release of one product and another. Just to put some context of how this works, for example, the year that our comic book takes place is 2012. We cannot release any characters, places, creatures, events, or details of the story that takes after that year, as we want to first complete that year before moving forward with the other events. But you'll start getting the hang of it once we get there. For 2022, we have 4 projects on development. Some of them were not exactly planned for this year, but we started taking baby steps for the next years to come. For example, we started working on our keychain line. The other project that we started working on was the mobile game. You see, this game is actually a prequel to the game that we had released back in 2020, and even takes place before the events of the comic book. This game follows the adventures of our mascot Kipperu, and overall it just keeps adding layers to our expanded universe. We have 2 of them which have fully released, one of them being our online store where you can purchase products from our expanded universe. You can find shirts, notebooks and backpacks on it. We do plan to have more products, which is where our plans for the upcoming years kick in. The other project that has fully released is our comic book series. However, that's not complete yet. Like I said at the beginning, we need your help. Between March and April, we're planning to release a Kickstarter campaign to fund our comic book series. The plan being using those funds to fully complete the first 20 issues from volume 1. Like I said, our plan is to go ahead and expand the universe of these characters and tell their story. And well, that was our journey so far. Finances. Let's talk about the finances of our studio. So how exactly does the studio operate? To answer that question, you must know that the studio is divided in 2 divisions. One of them being the Spark by division, which is all the media related to the Oblivion project, and our second division, which is X Media, which is the division that is in charge of producing our content. Going back to our finances, between my co-founder and myself, we have about $2,000 to $5,000 from our savings ready for us to make prototypes before we do any products. We are going to give a percentage from these funds to each and every one of the projects that we're going to develop in the upcoming future. These projects being the trading card game, the comic book series, the toys, the video games, and the merch. Throughout the video, we have covered most of the projects that are currently on development. So let me give you an approximate date of when to expect what. By 2023, our plan is to work on 2 of these projects. one of them being the comic book series that I told you about, and the second one being our merch store. For our merch, we plan to work with a fashion designer from Honduras who will be developing a backpack. Now, regarding the plans to the original game that we released, we have decided to make you plan of the future of that game, which is why we're going to slowly start getting back into that development of that game and start releasing small updates for you to go ahead and play it. But for bigger updates, we will release a Kickstarter campaign to get the funding for that major updates. With the expanded universe that we are creating, we want every player's experience to be different. So for example, one player may choose one path, which is maybe just have competitive battles, while other players just want to go ahead and explore the area. So the way that we see it is that players don't have a main objective. They can choose between following the story mode, following the campaign, having competitive battles, or maybe just exploring the area. And that's completely fine, which is something that we cover in our comic book series. The purpose of unleashing your destiny. Is destiny something that is already written, or can you even change that? The final two projects are the figures, which is related to the keychain and doing collector item figures, or like some people call them, designer figures. We want to keep them accessible, but we still need to cover up the costs, which is why we want to keep them between the range of $20 to maybe even $50, $60 top, but we will know that once the time comes around. So no need to worry about it just yet. Last but not least, our streetwear collection. So there's not much to add about it, we just want to make merch for you to go ahead and use around whenever you go out, whether that's clothing, that's accessories, caps, t-shirts, backpacks, you name it, joggers. We just want you to be part of the community and have fun. For those of you who made it this far, I want to thank you for sticking in with us. Hopefully, you will still be around with us and enjoy the content that we create and bring out to our community. With that said, keep creating, keep enjoying, and unleash your destiny. Happy 2023.